Learning a new skill, language, or even routine can be daunting and time consuming. You may feel lost and like you aren't actually learning anything, struggling as you realize you still have so much to go. You've spent hours studying, practicing, and implementing ways to learn the new skill, but you feel you're barely making any progress. You may be reading book after book, watching video after video, trying to understand, yet most of the lessons go over your head and you become frustrated and want to give up. This is the common thing many people deal with when they're trying to learn something new, especially following the learning lessons the traditional textbook way. What if there was another way to learn that made you feel fulfilled and like each day was progress towards your goal? First, you must drop all time frames to learn the new skill. If you're expecting to learn a new skill or language in 6 months since your friend or some random person did it, throw that out the window and double, triple, or quadruple that time frame. That way, your expectations aren't too high, and if you're not where you thought you'd be after that time frame, you won't be disappointed. This keeps your motivation as you realize it takes a long time to learn something new and have it be a natural, unconscious thing. For you see, when you're learning something new, you're often taking external information, trying to comprehend it on a conscious level in hopes that it sinks into your subconscious mind and eventually your unconscious where you just know it without thinking. Most ways of learning are extremely slow since that is the approach it tends to follow and doesn't allow you to really absorb the information directly into your unconscious mind. The traditional way of learning is going lesson by lesson and remembering and answering a test. Learning new skills and languages is not about memorization, but about it being part of your brain and just knowing. This will eventually get you to where you want to be, but it often is not the most effective. One may think that if they listen to educational material on what they want to learn while they're asleep, they will just know the information without effort. This too is a false idea since you cannot comprehend anything that's being said and it'll often be dismissed by your brain. The real key to learning something new is repetition. How many times have you watched that educational video? Was it just once, hoping to grasp all the information in it on the first try? Or do you watch it again and take notes, studying the notes? Or do you continuously watch it on repeat, even in the background when you're doing something else, until you know almost everything that's being said? It's the latter, combined with active practice, that will get you to your goal the quickest. You want to have that video on repeat, non-stop. The first few times you need to pay close attention to it, but then it can become something in the background. You could be cooking and listening to it in the background as it begins to enter your subconscious mind. Keep doing this, and you will begin to realize that you know things about the skill you're learning that you didn't even remember learning. It will just be there. And once you understand the lessons in its entirety, then move on to the next video or lesson to continue learning and keep that on repeat again and again until it sticks. Say it out loud again and again until it becomes second nature and flows easily. It takes approximately 2 weeks for repetitive words, actions, and practice to stick with you. So have it play in the background or have your focus directly on it for many hours in the day. You cannot neglect active practice. When you first watch that video, it may go over your head, but the more you listen, the more it begins to make sense. Something may click and you understand an aspect of what you're trying to learn. Implement those skills and see where it takes you. Try them out and see if it's right or wrong and understand the reason why it is. Start piecing bits together like a jigsaw puzzle over weeks, months, and years of repetition until you have gotten to where you want to be. During your practice, it's also important to link words, objects, and concepts to images and visualization. This is referred to as mnemonics, and it's the concept of having a visual representation of something you're learning, so over time, it becomes easier for you to remember and eventually become part of your natural thinking without the need to remember. For instance, if you're learning a language that uses very different characters or sounds than your natural one, then having a visual representation of what that character means will help you remember its meaning and sound so you eventually just know it without having to think about it. This is a long process, but you will find it more enjoyable than reading a bunch of books and taking notes. It's important you enjoy it, or else you're going to have a much harder time learning. The key is consistency and motivation. Even when you're faced with doubt at times, especially when starting a new lesson or thinking about how much more you have to go, feeling overwhelmed, just remember that the brain is a powerful tool, and over time, with repetition, you'll learn it. You may not know it right now, but you will after you've listened to it for hours on end each day. Keep it up and you will learn the skill, language, or routine pattern you've always wanted.